Hi, for today's Fun Fact Friday, I want to do a brief tutorial on how we can use footnotes in Google Docs as a way to build a habit of thinking about the quality of our references and supporting our ideas with research that we've paused and thought about to ensure for credibility and accuracy. I'm not going to go into how you can analyze a resource for its credibility. That's a different topic, but this is adjacent. This is related because I think by asking students to include footnotes, it's a really simple technically on a Google Doc to do this. And by building that habit, even on a short assignment to say, hey, if you're using an outside resource to answer a question, pop a link in with a footnote. It gives us that sense of this is an important thing that we have to pause and think about before just grabbing information from online and reproducing it. And I think that that's a habit of thinking we really need to help instill in our students. So we know that we do this oftentimes with big research papers and with big research projects. And we have to teach our students about appropriate citations, MLA format, APA format, Chicago style, whatever it is in your discipline. However, there's this big middle ground that we can cover with some simpler skills to help scaffold up towards the technical, citations that we do need our students to learn, but it's more about that habit of thinking of ensuring that information that we're using is also reputable, even when it's a quick answer to a short assignment. So that's where I'm hoping that this skill will help support us. So using those footnotes in Google Docs in combination with some mini lessons and explicitly teaching students to analyze the resources, I think could go a long way. So I'm going to pretend that I am a student who has received an assignment called All About Sleep, because am I tired right now? Yes, I am. And am I thinking about sleep? Yeah, a little bit. So here we go. All about sleep. Let's pretend the assignment, and I'm trying to hit kind of like right in the middle where this would be broadly applicable, hopefully to students, maybe even as young as even third or fourth grade, I think, could really handle this, all the way up through seniors and beyond, right? So we can all insert a footnote and we can all copy and paste a link. It's some of the deeper thinking that is going to change, obviously, depending on the content and the age of your students. But I'm just kind of trying to hit a middle ground here. Use your best online research skills to provide brief answers to the following two questions. And then insert a footnote, this is the piece, right, with a link back to your resources in order to document your research. And remember to evaluate the accuracy and credibility of the information that you choose to share. That's a post that would be much longer, a video that would be much longer, but something to think about including as well. So what do we know about the sleep habits of animals? In order to make this video as brief as possible, I've already done the research. So you can actually see my little tabs are open already. So I've even actually written out my assignment answer. So I'm just going to copy and paste that in from a different document here. And that way I can demonstrate how I'm going to insert my footnotes so that you can see that it is pretty easy to do. So I sort of wrote my little answer here. And you can sort of try to imagine how long it might take your particular, your student set to do this. But I found some interesting information about brown bats and giraffes from this website called Neuroscience for Kids. And the reason that I've decided to trust it is that it's coming from the faculty at the washington.edu. I know enough about URLs to be able to determine that. But I also like how this particular site has references itself. So I looked at the bottom because I thought that was interesting. Giraffes only get 1.9 hours on average sleep, and brown bats get 19.9 hours on average sleep. So I kind of inserted that into my answer. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go up into the Google Doc, right? I'm going to go to Insert, and I'm going to scroll down. It's not showing. Let's get back in here. Sorry. Adjust my view here in hopes that will get me my whole panel. And there we go. My footnote. I'm going to paste my link. That's it. So what the Google Doc did is it automatically created that little bitty one where I hit insert. And then I'm just pasting the link. That's the bare minimum, right? And I think that that's enough. We're only trying to build the scaffold of this thought process. We're not every time that we reference something do we need to go all the way, I think, into MLA and APA, because we're just scaffolding before a bigger research assignment might happen. So I also found this interesting thing about fish. I have actually always been curious about fish and whether or not they sleep. So I liked this resource because it came from the NOAA. And I also liked just that it was the simplicity of it, right? For a variety of age groups, et cetera. This seemed like a good one. Sorry. So I get in there. I want to get as close to my resource as I can possibly do it. I'm going to insert my footnote. It gives me a number 2 because this is the second footnote on the page. I just copy, paste, right, Control V, and I've got my link in there. So this is kind of bare bones, but you know what it's done? It's required me as the student to kick back to the places where I got my information. And if I needed to have a conversation with my teacher about why I chose those, I've had to take the time to get that link, put it in there, remember where I got it. And I'm also learning how to use the footnotes and the significance of referencing where I get my information. So then here's this other age-old question. What is one theory about why humans sleep? I guess scientists haven't 100% nailed that down. I don't know. This is definitely not my area of expertise, which is yet another reason why it's important that I include a resource, right? A reference back to, I keep doing that, sorry about that, a reference back to where I'm getting my information. So all of this entire paragraph, I kind of gleaned from one resource, and it's going to give us an opportunity to talk about another interesting thing here. So I found this one, healthysleep.med.harvard.edu. I feel like, okay, I'm in the .edu and I'm in the Harvard. I feel like this is going to be a reputable resource. However, in a conversation that I might have with a teacher, there is one thing I noticed that might come up, right? And this says this content was last reviewed on December 18th, 2007. So that might be suspect for whether or not it's totally up to date in terms of the reasons why, the theories behind sleep. But yet I've got like lots of bonus points for the credibility and validity and reliability and authority of the source that I'm kicking back to. So that's the whole thing. And you can sort of imagine, you at your student's level and the content area, that was really pretty simple for me to insert a footnote, paste that link, and it just gave me pause to think about, where am I getting my information? I think this is such an important thinking routine and thinking habit for us to try to cultivate in our students. And it's definitely going to help support them as the complexity of what they're researching increases. And as they get into requiring that MLA citation and APA citation and what have you in their more advanced classes, the fact that they'll be accustomed to having to put that source and that citation in there is going to be really helpful to them and a really nice scaffolding into the deeper research that they would have to do. So I hope this information is helpful. Feel free to share it with anybody else that you think might benefit, and have a great weekend, everybody. Bye.